Yeah, hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. We take a look at the Bitcoin chart from an Elliott Wave point of view. And first of all, we take a look at how another low could be avoided. So primary expectation that I still have, I've made that very clear, I think, is as long as we are below the 23.3K level, primary expectation has to be this one, that we still will make a lower low. Now, how low we go, this remains to be seen. Theoretically, any low below the low of the 18th of June would be sufficient to finish off a fifth wave to the downside. First major line of support will be the 16.9K level. That is the 78.6% Fibonacci level. I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin will reach that before it will start to move up and get to more sustainable highs. This is still the primary scenario until we have, price confirmation above that 23.3K level. There is currently there are bullish signals. Yes, we see at least an attempt to start to move up, but I also have to say, and that's what we've seen over the last couple of weeks, when we tracked that potential bullish scenario, that we had to adjust it a lot of times. We can still make it work, but the problem is that it's getting longer and longer and harder as it seems. But we're going to follow it. But I just need to re-emphasize that my primary expectation still is that we'll make a lower low. Maybe that doesn't always come across. I always say it, but just to make that very clear, as long as we don't have price confirmation above 23.3K, I still see that happening, especially as for many altcoins, I still see lower lows as well. The only thing is that pretty much only for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Matic, I think these are the only ones, maybe even Mana, it pretty much makes sense to track a bullish scenario, because for the other ones, we just don't have enough bullish price information yet, and price confirmation to the upside. But here for Bitcoin, it would mean that we have probably already seen here the that wave 1 to the downside in red, the wave 2 to the upside here in red, then a wave 1 down in yellow, a wave 2 up in yellow. The thing is, it has also adhered very well to the Fibonacci levels here, the 78.6% Fib level, and we might now be in this third wave in yellow. Within that, you could say, okay, this is a 5-wave move, of course, as well. So it could be that we are doing here the 1, the 2 at the moment, the 3, the 4, and the 5. And if this is the scenario, then I can tell you that very soon we should see a strong sell-off. So let's take a look here at those Fib retracements from that wave. And even in this wave now, we are already retracing nearly to the 61.8. So I wouldn't be surprised to touch the 20K. That's the 61.8% Fib level, maybe even the 20.2K. But in the bearish scenario, we should then see a turnaround in a wave 3 to the downside. That should be a strong move down. A strong move down. And that needs to take us below 18.6K. And if we go below 18.6K, which is that swing low here, then I think we have the confirmation that we are going to break to the downside. It will then just get very unlikely that this is still the bullish scenario. And we're going to take a look at the bullish one as well. The bullish one would basically be the case how we can avoid such another lower low. Okay, so this is what we're currently doing here. This is the bearish scenario. This would be my primary expectation. And I just have to expect that, because we haven't really broken any price levels of significance to the upside yet, and those structural levels need to be taken out. Now, what could theoretically happen before we see such a low is long sideways movement. I mentioned that as well. If we really are in long crypto winter, we could see really long sideways movement, long and boring sideways movement where you see a lot of people are giving up. Okay, so this is getting certainly possible. What we also need to keep an eye on here is generally this sort of shape, which actually looks like a triangle. So this is something to keep an eye on, because this could result in a breakout. Now again, it's trend continuation, a triangle. You would expect that to break to the downside would be in line with this wave count. Now, you could also make that an Elliott Wave triangle count, I believe. It would lead to a very similar result, okay? Basically here a bearish pennant, you could call that, if we have a few more ups and downs. And then the closer you get into the apex, the more likely will be a breakout, and the stronger the breakout will be as well. You normally see a move in a triangle come together with a decline in volume. Now, in my opinion, we don't see that. We've pretty much had similar volume here since, or for the last couple of weeks, last 3 weeks. So, yeah, not really sure about that yet, but that could still happen. Now, if we're heading further into this triangle, that could become really boring for the next few days, you know? So let's take a look at that. But I think we should see here a decision if we are in the bullish or the bearish scenario in the next 1 or 2 days, I would say. Yeah, because it is really which breakout point do we choose. To the downside, it's very clear below 18.57K, yeah. Or here to the upside, we'll take a look at that in the bullish scenario. Here, the bullish scenario, it would be a move above the 20.4K level in the first instance, and then that wave 1 high at 21K pretty much. So this is the bullish scenario. How can we avoid another breakout to the downside? Now, we can count this bullish, but I have to tell you, I mean, I've looked at it again today, and I mean, I like to track the bullish scenario, even though it's not my primary expectation, because first of all, when it gets invalidated, we basically know that we are heading further down, which would be the primary expectation. But when we go to the upside, yeah, and it is probably the more interesting one to track, I have to tell you as well, if we go to the upside, a lot of people would be happy. A lot of people would be happy, including myself, because it has been a long journey, you know, that we've been following this downtrend. And over the last 7 months, you know, the narrative has been we have to go lower, we have to go lower, we have to go lower. Now we finally reached an area where we reached the target, and we can now turn around. Therefore, I'm now tracking in the both scenarios basically, because we have definitely the potential to move to the upside. But the bullish scenarios that I had on the chart, as you know, I had to adjust a few times. So a few of them have been invalidated, you know, and this is not great, especially given here the latest overlaps as well. We can make it work from a bullish point of view, but it just needs a lot of creativity. So the bullish scenario would assume we've had our wave 1 here to the upside in purple, then an ABC down. We could argue that this here might have been the wave 1, but in the end it doesn't make a great difference. ABC here with the wave 2 to the downside, and then yeah, possibly the next impulse starting. But I have to tell you, even though we've seen some movement today and the market is trying to achieve something, there's just too many overlaps for me. Yeah, it looked promising here in the beginning, but it just shows a bit of weakness in the chart. And I mean, if this is the bullish scenario, we now need to really start. Yeah, we really need to start in a crazy way. Bitcoin needs to go crazy. Yeah, if it doesn't do it, again, this will probably also be messed up. The thing is, Bitcoin would now need to go above 20.4K in this next wave up, in this red wave 3, and would even need to break above the wave B high. So it really needs to go crazy very shortly. If it doesn't, it will probably mess up this wave count again, you know. And this is just a possible bullish wave count here, and it looked promising, but if you look at it really from when we started this on the 19th of June, we pretty much just moved sideways. Yeah, you can make it work from a bullish point of view, but it just gets harder and harder. Yeah, especially if we don't finally break through these resistance levels here. And again, if we break below 18.6K, which is this wave 2 low, then it will just get very unlikely that this is still the bullish scenario and that this actually works out. It would technically invalidate this scenario as it is. It would not invalidate the bullish scenario completely. Should we make it below 18.6K, we could make it work in a way that the wave 1 was up here, then we had an A down, basically here some kind of a B wave to the upside, and the C wave would still come lower. But I'm not a friend of this scenario, especially as it would mean that we get very close to the 17.6K level, which was the low anyway. The closer we get to that level anyway, and if we take all these structural lows out, then it will just get very unlikely that this is still a bullish scenario. It would just highlight the weakness in the chart. So again, Until we break above this 23.3k level, the expectation is further down. We are tracking the bullish scenario for everybody's benefit, hopefully. But for now, yeah, next move would need to be up to very strongly to the upside. Yeah. You know, we basically now are at this crossroad where we either go up very strongly in a wave 3, yeah, and would take out this resistance box here. That would be strong confirmation that indeed we are in an uptrend, or we are here in the wave 3 down, which would have to be a very strong move down. So honestly, either today, yeah, or tomorrow, we should have the answer actually, which of these scenarios is playing out. So it's an exciting time. Hopefully that made it clear. Hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then yeah, check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.